How to JV your wholesaling real estate deals. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here.
Rick Zach Ginn here.
And in today's video, we're going to share with you exactly how to joint venture, JV, co-wholesale, partner up with anyone you want in wholesaling, and start splitting these profits for big paydays. I'm super excited about it and ready to get it going. So before we share it, guys, do me a favor and smash that like button and subscribe to the most true value from me, and let's get into it. So the first question here is, what is JVing, joint venturing, co-wholesaling? There's so many names for it. What is joint venturing?
Joint venturing is just a fancy term for a temporary partner. And it is only married to a specific deal, a property address. And once that property goes down, your relationship's dissolved. And if you want to continue a new relationship with them, you can do another JV. It's just a simple way. Now, JVs can be 50-50. They can be 90-10. It doesn't matter. It can be a fixed fee agreement. It's really whatever two parties to agree on. JVs are excellent in wholesaling. The key here is you have to get them in writing.
Yeah.
You have to get them in writing because the word alone cannot be trusted in real estate. That's why we have this beautiful thing called contracts. So a JV, a joint venture, would fall under a type of contract.
So let's kind of break down the pros and cons. So I think a lot of people see the pros for it. They don't see a lot of the cons. But what are some of the pros and cons of JVing for you?
The pros are, like, if you're really good going out there and finding motivated sellers, but you haven't spent any time on a cash buyers list, or maybe you're in a virtual market where you have absolutely no cash buyers and you don't have time to put it together, then that's a perfect opportunity for a joint venture, because you have someone who's an expert in marketing to motivated sellers. He or she has a contract. And then you have another individual, he or she, that has a cash buyers base that actively buy from them, and they're a perfect fit. And hopefully they have them trained and ready to go. So in a perfect JV relationship, if you put two powers like that, it works out wonderfully. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't always work out like that. So the cons of a joint venture is sometimes the other party misrepresents what their expertise are. So if I get a great cash deal in your area and you reach out to me and say, Rick, let's partner up with JV. I got cash buyers. Well, maybe 2 weeks go by. You haven't produced one cash buyer. You're not showing the property and doing everything. And you go, well, we have a JV agreement. You have to figure it out. That's the downside of doing JV agreements. So the best way to try to protect yourself is to get to know the individual. Don't just jump into an agreement off what they're telling you in a 5-minute phone conversation. It is a recipe for disaster. What you want that person to do is pull their weight, and they should be bringing value to the contract for you. You don't want to JV people that just want to profit from you, because those are like the really bad ones, and they will try to enforce your JV agreement.
Okay. So how do you know if a JV partner is good or bad? Like what's some of the tips you can give?
Well, it's, first of all, if you have any type of relationship with them or you've done business in the past, that's the easiest way to figure out. I still don't take them for granted, because maybe you did business with someone 6 months ago and maybe they're in a different state of mind and like they didn't keep up with their cash buyers base. Here's what I try to do is I try to test them out on their knowledge.
Okay.
So, oh, great, you got a deep cash buyers list. Hey, can you just like screenshot me like the first 100 you got? I don't even need the email, just like partial their name. They can't produce that in 10 minutes for you. Run. Yeah. It means they're not. If I want to do business with you, I'm going to get it for you. Like I want to do it. The same can be true on the other side. If they don't know how to market, if they say, hey, Rick, all I do is market to motivated sellers in that area. You got a great cash buyers list. That's great. What kind of marketing pieces you do? If they can't answer, you guys already know. Either they're doing cold calling, SMS, direct mail, door knocking, foreclosures, like whatever. If they get, he or she's clueless on that, like heed the warning. They're just getting in your back pocket on it. So the best telltale sign is if you've done business with in the past, or maybe it's someone you followed and you followed out. Just because they post deals on social media doesn't mean they actually make money. Get in, ask for copies of HUDs, ask for like, give me your cash buyers list. Just take a screenshot of the first name, whatever you can do with it. And maybe you can look up some of their posts on some of the Facebook groups for wholesaling and see what kind of activity level they have.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, what are some of the best ways that you find good JV partners? Because I mean, you've over the years found some interesting ones, some bad ones, some good ones.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you find the good ones? How do you avoid the bad ones? Like, how do you find good JV partners?
Hands down, social media is the best place to get them. You know, the common ones: Facebook, Instagram, the marketplace. You can find deals. There's specific groups on Facebook that cater towards wholesalers. Now they actually have ones that are for JVing wholesale deals.
Yeah.
Here's the types that I try to avoid on these. I've got deals all over the country. Oh man, I'm telling you, you want someone that has deals in your area.
Yeah.
The person has them all over the country. They're just scraping lists, and they'll get 800 contracts to get one successful deal. You can't afford to do that. So find someone who's got a area of expertise in your market, and that's the one. If your JV partner says, hey, I got cash buyers in your area and they live in California, I don't care if they live in California, but like, you need to prove to me, they're going to have to step way up to show me they have cash buyers in the area. So just show me 5 or 6 deals you've been successful on. And it's really that simple. Guys, you have to verify what people say, what people post. Most of the time, just going to tell you the truth, they're just bragging.
Yeah.
When it comes down to how much did you actually make, I don't care how much you grossed, how much did you make. And honestly, if they're really good at JVing, they should have references. Hey, I just JV'd with Zach 2 months ago. I sold 3 of his properties. Why don't you give him a call and let me know if I'm like for real? I'll also take their phone number and I'll just do a simple Google search and see what ads they pop up, what's going on. And you can do like some telltale research. I love social media. The old days when I did it was just Craigslist and just networking at meeting. But today, the sky's the limit. The beautiful thing is you have a much bigger pool to pick from. The problem is you've got a lot of people that have no business JVing in there, and those are the ones I want to prevent.
I agree. You want to get rid of there. And then obviously next here is like the JV agreement or like the structure. You can get them at freewholesaling.com. You can go to any general one like online. But I think one of the most important parts about a JVing agreement is to make sure it's non-exclusive. Because if you have the contract and you sign with someone who doesn't have good cash buyers, I think one of the biggest red flags when it comes to finding a cash buyer is be like the person on Facebook says, I have 500,000 cash buyers, you know. It's ridiculous, though. The people, I have 1 million cash buyers. I have 10,000. It's getting crazy.
So if you're going to partner up with someone who's going to bring you a cash buyer, which is one of the most common ways to do it, put an expiration on it. If they don't produce a cash buyer in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever you want, 4 weeks, terminate the contract. Just say, if you do not produce a cash buyer that executes a contract within 30 days, this agreement's null and void. So my best JV partners are people I've done deals year after year after year. The first ones, that's always the biggest test. And if you can get past that, the best way to guard you is do not take everything they say as their word. You got to go out and verify it. And the more they brag, the more you have to verify. Honestly, the more they brag, it's usually they're just lying to you.
I agree. So make sure your JV agreement's good. What percentage do you feel? Because I know we usually tell people 50-50, but like we do a little better in business, so we can push to 70-30. But I think that one of the most important parts is like whoever really has the contract, like the property under contract with the seller, usually wins, right? Yeah.
So whoever has the contract dictates the term, because that's where the money's really coming from. So if like you're new and you guys are working together, 50-50 is fine. Whoever has the contract's typically going to be in most control, which would put them in a 60-40 position minimum, in my opinion. Also, you got to understand if there's any type of funding that comes to the table, that's going to skew that equation as well too. Unless the other party, you can simply say, well, 60-40, that's crazy, Rick. I'm like, you want to fund the deposit? There's a $2,000 deposit. Or what if we have to close on this? Will you fund that? And you need to have stipulations in your contract if you have to get any type of transactional funding, or do you get money from like your money partner? That's your contact. You have to be compensated for that. So the range can, as I said, 90-10 would be a simple referral agreement type of deal. I'm going to give you $500 or $1,000. And then make sure those deals are always paid outside of the HUD, and they're just a referral fee for marketing. Other than that, you can do 50-50 is the middle, 70-30 if one brings much more expertise than the other. Some people actually do it for almost like next to nothing just to spend time with an experienced wholesaler to get that deal done.
I agree. That's one of the biggest issues. It's like, it doesn't really matter the percentage. I recommend 50-50. It's ultimately up to you which one you want to do. Again, if you have the contract, usually you dictate a lot of the terms. So find that JV partner, bring them through, decide who's bringing the cash buyer through, who's doing what. And at the end of the day, really, in my opinion, with the title company, they don't really care about the JV agreement. I mean, it's more to protect you if there's like a legal issue. I've found with title companies, they only care about what's on the assignment of contract. Like, I don't care what JV agreement you sign. If the assignment of contract says you're not getting paid, they're probably not going to pay you. So I believe one of the most important parts of JVing that no one really talks about is the assignment of contract, right? Make sure, like in our freewholesaling.com, we stipulate, add an extra line. Cash buyer agrees to pay Rick Ginn $10,000 assignment, and then cash buyer agrees to pay an additional $10,000 to Zach Ginn for a total of $20,000, right?
Yeah, and then work with your title company.
Yeah.
If I have a JV partner, I'm going to let them know up front because I find out the other partner pays attention a lot more when they know a third party is watching what they're doing. Yep. So guys, JV agreements, they're not public record. It's all private. So it's you, your JV partner, and the title company are the only ones that are really privy to that information.
I agree 100%. So guys, go out there and start JVing with your sellers. All you got to do from there is just send a title, get a profit, get your check. So guys, smash that like button and subscribe. I truly appreciate it, guys. That's how you JV these deals. Go out there, partner up, and get it going. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. This is Zach Ginn signing out.
Thanks, guys. Rick Ginn signing out.
Have a blessed one. Thanks.